So here we go on woods, same again. Nice quick overview of woods. Now, softwoods. In fact, let me just give you the families. You have softwoods, you have hardwoods, and you have manufactured boards, or sometimes they're called man-made boards. So let's go into softwoods first. Softwoods are the most common of between hardwoods and softwoods, the most commonly used because these are quick growing trees. They grow in approximately 4 years, or they get to what we call maturity in about 4 years. And they because of that they're sustainable because the trees grow quickly, and it makes the cost cheaper as well. So softwoods are basically, think Christmas trees. So there's three types you need to know. There's spruce, pine, and larch, and I'd probably say pine is the most common one. Like, that's the one in the DC department we have. So the one thing that really shows and highlights the difference between softwoods and hardwoods is softwoods are covered in little knots here. Knots are where a branch has grown out of the main trunk, and it leaves this kind of grain going in a different direction. So you have this lovely sweeping grain, then suddenly you'll get to this like lump in the tree, and that's just where the branch has grown out. Now, these can be problematic because they're very, very hard, and they can actually cause saw blades to break. So let's get on with it anyway. So actually, let's look at spruce. Spruce is lovely. It's got this really light, almost creamy color, and yeah, it's typically used for sort of actually, a good one for this is musical instruments. So think of things like violins or guitars or something like that. It's often used, acoustic guitars anyway, often use spruce to make them. Next one is pine. So pine is great for interior, what we call interior joinery, and furniture as well, because it's inexpensive, it's strong, and and it's even used for housing frames sometimes. And it's got this slightly yellow color. That's really the distinguishing feature between this and spruce. And it's quite soft and it's quite easy to work with, but it can be quite knotty. Then the next one, larch. It's got this sort of reddish color and it's quite striking grain pattern. Now, this is very tough, and it's naturally resistant to rotting, and rotting is caused by damp. So for this reason, it's often used for outdoor applications like fencing or outdoor decking in people's yards or gardens. So it's a very, very good material for outdoor applications. Let's go on to hardwoods. There's many more hardwoods than there are softwoods. We've got a few listed here, but if you're really stuck for thinking of a hardwood, you can literally think of a fruit like apple, cherry, lemon, and technically those are, or mango, those are types of woods as well. So let's just look at this. The first thing we'll see here is that there are no knots on hardwoods. They're much, much denser grains as well. So that's what makes the wood physically harder as well. So oak, which is this one shown here, this is a really beautiful, quite light grain, very, very hard, very tough, and very durable. And this is typically used for timber frame houses or really high quality furniture, or even flooring because it's so hard. And also, guys, the thing with all hardwoods is they last for centuries. I mean, that's why antique furniture, like hundreds of years old furniture, is made from hardwoods because they last for so long. Okay, so the next one we've got is ash, which is tough and it's flexible. Sorry, this was the oak here. Sorry, my mistake. Yeah, oak. It's got a slightly reddy color there. Yes, ash. This one over here is almost like it's actually quite flexible in its own way. So it's used for sports equipment. So things like baseball bats are often made from ash, and even things like wooden ladders and stuff like that. And then mahogany is this really dark wood here. It's actually tropical. It's found in hot tropical climates. So you get these in like Indonesia and stuff. So these have a very, very dark color, and they're really beautiful. And when they're polished up very nicely, they look amazing. Beech is another one that's good to know about. This is used for like kids' toys, sometimes kitchen worktops if they're hardwood, or generally tabletops if they're solid hardwood. They're made from beech. And generally furniture. I mean, furniture is always a safe bet with hardwoods. The last one, the only one that's a bit odd, is this one here called balsa. Balsa is weird. It's got a very low density and it's quite flexible. So balsa is actually really good for making things that need to float, like rafts or even floats to go in the water. And actually, it's really good for model making because you can cut it with a scalpel or craft knife, and you can glue it together really easy. So, used to be that aircraft designers used to make small model planes out of balsa wood because it's so light. Okay, the last one is manufactured boards. So here, there's a really good video here showing how they're made. Excuse me. And then here we've got plywood, and plywood is typically used for, I mean, anything like flat pack furniture. Yeah, it can be used for containers, for flooring, for like interior construction work in houses. It's used for loads of stuff. Chipboard is this one on the right here. This is often used for sort of making big boxes out of. It's made up of large flakes of wood that are just sort of squished together with glue. These can be used for making like even flooring or kitchen cabinets or something like that. Even though it doesn't look very nice, it can then be coated with a veneer. And the same with MDF. MDF is quite good for model making. It's quite good for model making because it's literally just made of wood fibers that have been glued together, so it can be sanded down and then painted really easily. So it's good for cabinet doors because you can have really intricate moldings and designs on cabinet doors and then paint them up and they look really lovely. So veneers, my apologies. Yes, so veneers. You get timber-based veneers, which are very, very thin sheets of hardwood, or you get what we call thermoset laminates, which add a protective coating. So these kind of timber-based veneers are used for just covering up a nasty man-made board like chipboard. So if you made a kitchen door and you want to make it look really nice, you get a very thin layer of mahogany and then glue it on top of the chipboard, and that'll make it look a lot nicer.